Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for being on the panel. I thought the questions were excellent, by the way, and thanks to all of you for your work in Catholic media. All of you are also at publications that do significant original reporting, which is of high quality and very much needed. I preface this with compliments because I too have a question to ask about something that concerned me with respect to the Register and the way that the Register was involved in breaking the story of the Vigano letter. The Vigano letter was broken intentionally by Marco Tosati, who was involved in drafting the letter, intended that it be broken on the final day of the Pope's trip to Ireland, when he would be about to get on his plane back, and that was why the various translations were done, and LifeSite and Ed Penton at the Register premiered it at the same time. So my question has to do with ecclesiology and the ecclesial responsibility of a Catholic publication. I understand that in journalism you always want to be the first to get the story, but there was a big story going on in Ireland with the healing of the Irish Church that was needed from Pope Francis, and I know of at least one Irish journalist who's shared that there was anger in Ireland over the fact that certain American media conspired to drop this story at a time when it would specifically quash the news of Ireland's healing. So I want to ask you, what did you think? Was there any deliberation at the Register with regard to your ecclesial responsibility in grabbing this scoop at the moment it was offered to you and not holding it?
I don't think that if we held it, it would have prevented the onslaught that happened after. Was there deliberation? Absolutely, because of the gravity of what Vigano was presenting. I mean, did we know that it was going to be dropped then? Absolutely not. Did we conspire in that? Absolutely not. Edward Penton did not conspire. He was in fact just coming back from Ireland the day before. So it was not a conspiratorial thing as it had been reported about us being involved. But it was actually it was actually first mentioned in an Italian news broadcast as being scoop that was provided for the next day. So it wasn't necessarily us who first spoke about the Vigano thing. It actually happened first. It was not intended to be published in that way. So my first knowledge of the Vigano testimony or letter or whatever you're supposed to call it, as Father Matt said earlier. My first knowledge that he was developing this testimony was actually maybe a month before. And we tried to get more information about what was there and what was going to be presented in that testimony. What was told to us as we tried to go to Vigano to get that information, we wanted to do an on-camera video interview with him, was, no, I'm going to break this big. I'm going to go to the New York Times, I'm going to go to AP, and I'm going to break this big. I did not find out who was publishing this until the moments that we were publishing it. And so it was not a, as, for our part in it, conspiratorial as it may appear. Do I like the way it came out? Absolutely not. Would I want to do it that way? Again, absolutely not. I think it was an important piece. I am glad for the work that had been done to break down what was put there. And Greg, your staff contributed to following up on some of those threads. The way the Holy Father responded to that was, journalists, do your work. Is it there? And I think that journalists have sought to do their work in that. Putting it out there was a way of catalyzing that, nothing more.